This is not a clear-cut cheating story,
All
so
right, okay, so
I'm truly at a loss.
So it's definitely not.
My wife and I have been married for 15 plus years with kids. About 2 years ago, we started hanging out with this other couple we met through our school. We've gotten really close. I consider the guy my friend, and my wife also hangs out with his wife. When the four of us hang out with our families, there's usually a good amount of booze involved. By the way, this comes from throwaway 80812. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. The event in question happened right before Mother's Day, and I still haven't digested it. We were hanging out with the other couple, as usual, when my wife went to the kitchen with a guy to refill their drinks. I had a mostly full glass and was looking pretty comfy on the couch, still talking to the other wife, when I decided to go join them in the kitchen for whatever reason. When I got there, I saw my wife with her back against a wall, laughing, with my friend leaning over her, his mouth maybe kissing her neck or really close to it. I immediately screamed, "What the F is going on?" They jumped apart, looking shocked to see me, and my wife kept saying she could explain.
She's like, I can
Then do
explain.
It was like out of a crappy Lifetime movie. We were all talking over each other, and then I started heading to the car, grabbing my kids on the way. I was about to leave her, but she climbed in the passenger seat anyway. I wasn't gonna punt her out of the car with our kids in the back, so we drove home in silence. When we got home, my wife started crying. She told me that this is what happened. Weeks ago, he started doing random small things around her while we all hung out if my and his wife's back was turned. He would grab her hand or touch her hair. The most they spoke about it was that she said he should really stop doing these things, but then kept letting him or finding ways to be alone momentarily with him. She claims they never communicated by text or phone call, never met up, and never even kissed, except on her neck, I guess. In retrospect, I do think he was subtly flirting with her, but I thought at the time that it was the usual gentle teasing we would all do as friends. I asked her if they were going to kiss that night if I hadn't caught them, and she says she's not sure, but she may have let him. She says she's not even physically attracted to him, but enjoyed the validation she got from him putting these moves on her. She has had a long history of requiring a lot of reassurance that she's attractive and that I am still into her. She immediately let me have her phone and search through it. I didn't find any text between them. I asked her if this would have led to spicy sleep, and she adamantly said no. The worst thing fantasized about him when she was with me or getting herself off. She said no to thinking of him while with me, but admitted yes to thinking of him when alone.
Okay, so like this.
Needless to say, I'm cutting off all contact with my friend. I told my wife I'm thinking about divorce, and she's begging me to reconsider. She's telling me we will go to counseling. I can track her location, all the things. This really sucks. I don't know how I can get past this betrayal. I don't know how I can trust her again, but I also don't know how I can leave what I thought was an amazing marriage and give our kids a broken home without attempting to try to work through this. I can't talk to any of my friends or family about this because it makes me sick, and I feel embarrassed that I let this happen. It's been hard pretending to be happy on Mother's Day for the sake of our kids. I can't sleep, have barely eaten, I can't concentrate at work. At home, my wife just cries all the time. What the F do I do? And edit, I just want to clarify one point since I have had many comments addressing this. We do not drink and drive. One of us is usually the DD and has like one glass of wine with food, while the other three get a little sloshed. Just needed to say this so people don't keep assuming we're putting kids in danger. I was not drinking the night this happened, and I'm sorry for not clarifying this before. And there is an update. Sorry, it's taken me a while to get back to this. It's been really busy, as you can imagine. I appreciate all the support and advice for this difficult situation. Shortly after the original post, I did reach out to the other wife, asking if we could meet in person or at least talk on the phone to see if the stories matched. She's pretty much responded with a version of, "We are planning on moving forward as a family, and talking about it with you will not be conducive to that process for us." She wished me peace or some BS, and then both of them blocked both of us. I know there's other ways to contact them, but I'm not going to be that guy. We decided to start marriage counseling and have an appointment set up this week. I also finally convinced my wife to get therapy for her issues as well, but her appointment isn't until later in June. She is still being transparent and asking whatever question I have about anything. She is still maintaining that all she would ever do is flirt and a few touches here and there while we were all hanging out, and would never have met up with him outside. She says she enjoyed the thrill of being found desirable by someone that was taboo taboo. It got to her head. I looked through her phone many times again, more thoroughly, and I didn't find any deleted texts, apps, etc. I even looked at websites on how to catch cheating on phones and followed their advice on how to search. I hate to disappoint most of you who commented, but I am trying to give her this benefit and move forward with our marriage for now, as she has been an amazing wife otherwise. I do know that I may never have 100% of the truth. I'm not an idiot. I don't trust her fully, but maybe one day I can get there. Here's the tricky part. Our kids are in the same elementary school as theirs, and my wife is involved in the PTA. So there's a guarantee we will run into this family that's awkward. It's actually pretty surreal to go from being such good friends to no contact. My wife has begged me to not divulge any of this to anyone at the school or mutual friends, as she doesn't want our kids to lose friends or our family to be stigmatized. I mean, I do think that's I do see her point about that, but I did follow your advice and spoke to a couple of my best friends from before about what transpired. They were shocked she would do this, but supportive when I told them I'd try to forgive her. I'm thinking of getting a therapist, though. I still don't want to tell anyone in my family because they can keep grudges and would use this against her forever. By the way, I'm sorry I made the original post seem like we were all booziacs or something, but that's really not the case. We would get together and drink 2 to 3 times a month, and it was our main social drinking outlet. We would have maybe 3 to 4 drinks each, except for the one who was the DD. We don't drink when it's just the two of us, except for date nights. We don't do devil's lettuce or other substances. I just mentioned the booze to give context that we were both under the influence when this happened, not to give an excuse or serve as the focus of the story. Thank you again for all the comments. It was helpful to have a place to go to initially for the scrap before I was ready to talk to people. It still feels like my life is turned upside down, and I still am hoping it's all a bad dream, but I think I've accepted it better now. And folks,